and welcome to the race brief for the Nene Park Swimrun. First and foremost, we are a COVID secure event and we need you to read the COVID section of your race manual really carefully. We need you to stay 2 metres apart from everyone at all times and follow the signage and all the rules and things that we put in to keep you safe. Registration will open at 6:45 AM and it will be open until 15 minutes before your race starts. This means that there's plenty of time for you to go through registration and collect your stuff. You don't have to arrive at 6:45 and wait around for it. You can come whenever you're ready and it will close 15 minutes before your race starts. Registration will be next to the car park. There will be 2 yellow tents and the 5 and 21Ks will queue in one queue and the 10Ks will queue in another queue. When you get to the front of your queue, before you enter the queue, you need to check your race number against your name on the board. Remember your number and then tell this to the ladies when you reach the front of the queue at registration. You'll be given an envelope. In your envelope, it will have a swim hat. We need you to wear your swim hat at all times when you're in the water, but you can take it off when you're running. It'll have an armband in it, which you need to wear on your right hand side. We don't mind if you wear it on your arm or your leg. For the more petite, it sits better and more securely on your leg. For the slightly larger, it sits better on your arm, but as long as it's on your right hand side. This needs to be worn at all times. You'll receive 2 timing chips. You need to wear both of these and on the outside of neoprene. For teams, could we make sure that one person wears one chip and one person wears the other? It's a good way of us keeping track of whether you've finished or not. When you receive your registration pack, you can't go within 20 metres of the race start finish. The timing chips that we're using are very sensitive and the system is very sensitive. So if you go within the start finish, we go within 20 minutes of the start finish area, you will start the timing off for your chip and you'll end up with a start time that you don't like very much. They'll be a lot longer than what you've actually raced. So remember to stay 20 metres away. You'll be called forward at race start, and at race start we need you to decide how fast you're going to run the course compared to a few of the others, and we need you to queue in ability order. This is to try and stop too much overtaking on the course. Course signage. If you're in the 21K, you will be following the red signs and the red reassuring tape. If you're in the 10K, you'll be following the yellow signs and the yellow reassuring tape. And in the 5K, you'll be following the green signs and the green reassuring tape. Please remember to follow your race colour. It is the same colour as your armband and your swim hat. Don't just follow the person in front, they could be racing a different race distance. You'll also find that your course might follow another course for a little while and then branch off in another direction. You must keep your eyes open and looking for the colours, your colour, arrows and tape. The tape is spaced at about 200 to 400 metres apart. If you haven't seen any for 600 metres, you need to backtrack. Go back to the last sign you saw and go from there. In very public areas, we will be putting floor paint down. This is because quite a few of our signs often go missing or are destroyed. So you need to also look at the floor to see if there's any floor paint. When you go into a swim in, there will be a swim in sign and a marshal, and a swim out there'll be a yellow feather flag and a marshal. You're sighting to the yellow feather flags. When you're swimming, if you are in distress, you need to roll over it onto your back and put your arm in the air. This is the universal sign to our paddlers that you're in distress. They will come over. When they come over, I need you to grab the front of the boat only, not the side or any of their paddles. Firstly, it stops you from pulling them in, and secondly, it keeps them 2 metres away from you so that it's more COVID secure. You can hang on and rest on the front of a boat for as long as you need to, as long as you make no forward progress. There are no strokes to be done on your back, it's all front stroke swimming, so that we don't get confused with people in distress. The water temperature is dropping as we're getting closer to winter, so it's likely to be around 14 degrees, which means that wetsuits will be mandatory. It also means that you're going to have to get used to the cold weather and the fact that as you get out you will get cold quite quickly due to the wind chill. It might quite often be warmer in the water than it is out. If you are feeling at all cold, disorientated, before you get into the water, please stop with the swimming marshal. They will then call for assistance. We'd rather you stay nice and warm and safe than try and swim when you are beginning to get the starts of getting cold and hypothermia. The start times are as follows. The 21Ks, we need you to start getting ready to line up from 7:30, ready for an 8 o'clock start. The 10Ks, we need you to line up from 8 o'clock, ready for an 8:30 start. And the 5Ks need to line up around 8:30, ready for a 9 o'clock start. We strongly suggest that all solo swimmers take a tow float with them or a pool buoy. This again is for your safety, and with the cold water it can be handy to be able to hang on to something just to catch your breath before you carry on swimming. If you have any further questions, just ask.